Hello guys, welcome to the new video. In this video, I'm going to explain you about Mammalia and also conclude the chapter Animal Kingdom. So starting with Mammalia, class Mammalia, they are found in a variety of habitats: polar ice caps, deserts, mountains, forests, grasslands, and dark caves. Okay, so they are saying about the places where we can find mammals. Where they are found: polar ice caps. Polar ice caps, deserts, mountains, and dark caves. Everywhere, almost all. Some of them have adapted to fly, okay, live in water, both. Fly and live in water. The most unique mammalian character is the presence of milk producing gland, that is mammary gland, okay, by which young ones are nourished. Okay, nourishment of young ones takes by mammary gland. They have two pairs of limb, okay, adapted for walking, running, climbing, burrowing, and swimming, or even for flying. Also, the skin of the skin of mammals is unique in possessing hair. That means they have hair. External ears or pinnae are present. So pinnae or external ear is present. Different type of teeth are present in the jaw. Okay, so different types of teeth are also present in the jaw, that is molar, premolar, incisors, canine, and all. Heart is four chambered, okay. They are homeothermic. Heart chamber, two ventricles and two auricles, and homeothermic. They maintain their body temperature. Respiration is by gills. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. They are viviparous. That means they don't lay egg, with few exceptions. And development is direct. That means direct, producing their young ones. No larval stage is present. Then oviparous example is platypus. Okay, then viviparous. See, oviparous here example they have given platypus, and all other mammals are viviparous. Even we humans come under mammalia only. So examples are kangaroo, flying fox, camel, monkey, rat, dog, cat, elephant, horse. Okay, common dolphin, blue whale, tiger, lion, even the cow and all, they come under mammalia only. So this is about class Mammalia. If this is clear, here we need to remember the very important characters is presence of mammary gland, then hair on the epidermis, okay, then external ear, that is pinna, is present. Teeth are embedded in the jaw and they are of different types, okay, and then respiration is by lungs. So this is the distinct features of class Mammalia. Revising about class Mammalia, they are found in various habitats. Okay, where they are found almost all everywhere: polar ice caps, deserts, mountains, forest, grasslands, dark caves. That means all kind of terrestrial habitats. They are present in all kind of terrestrial habitats. Not only terrestrial, but they are also present in aquatic habitats, and also they fly. Okay, then the most unique character is presence of mammary gland, that is milk producing gland, which is helpful for feeding their young ones, that is nourishing their young ones. Then they have two pair of limbs, okay. With those two pairs of limb, what they can do: they can fly, they can walk, they can run, they can swim, they can climb, and all the other things. Then skin has epidermal hair, okay. Then external ear, that is pinna, is present. Different types of teeth are present. Heart is four chambered, that is two ventricle and two auricles. Then they are homeothermic, that means they are warm blooded animals, that means they can maintain their body temperature. Then respiration is by lungs. Sexes are separate, that means female and male are reproducing organs are present in two different individuals, okay. Then fertilization is internal, that means fertilization takes inside the body of the organism. They are viviparous, that means egg formation or egg laying process is not there. Then development is direct, that means no larval stage is there. Example, oviparous example is platypus, okay, and then viviparous all the other mammals. Then we have a table. I'll discuss about this table in the last, but revising the whole of animal kingdom as fast as possible next. Revising the whole chapter from the start. See, here we find the basis of classification. What are the basis of classification? Here it is arrangement of cell, body symmetry, nature of coelom, pattern of digestive, circulatory and reproductive system. These are the basis of classification. Then coming to the level of organization, here we find cellular level of organization, tissue level of organization, organ level of organization, and organ system level of organization. Cellular level of organization is found in poriferans, okay, where a cell is very much free to do its own activity. Then comes tissue level of organization in coelentrates and ctenophores. Tissue level of organization where the cell which do the similar function aggregate or come in they go hand in hand to do only one function. And then comes to organ level of organization where where the tissues are grouped together to form one organ for doing one specialized activity. Then examples are Platyhelminthes and Aschelminthes. And in next from Annelida to Chordata, all the organisms belonging to Annelida and to Chordata possess organ system level of organization where organs work hand in hand to perform one particular function. Like digestive system, stomach is there, intestine is there, that too large intestine is there, small intestine is there, we have liver, then we have pancreas, okay, then we have mouth, then we have esophagus. These all are organs, and these organs work in hand, so that our digestive system is very much correctly working. So this is organ system level of organization. Then we have complete digestive system and we have incomplete digestive system. Complete digestive system is where the organism have two holes, that is one mouth and the other one is anus. But incomplete digestive system, only one opening is there for the exterior, that works as both mouth and anus. Then coming to the circulatory system, open type and closed type. Open type where the blood is pumped directly in the body cavity and all the tissues and organs are bathed in the blood. Then coming to the closed type where we have special pipeline systems, okay, like tunnel. There are closed tunnels, okay. If you are confusing over here, please go to part 1 of Animal Kingdom. There I have explained very much clearly and very slowly, okay. In closed type there are closed tunnels called as tunnels or pipeline system or vessels with varying diameter are called examples are arteries, veins and capillaries. Then coming to symmetry, asymmetrical, radial symmetrical and then bilateral symmetrical. Asymmetrical where organisms can't be divided into two halves with any plane, okay. No plane can divide an organism into two halves or two equal halves. Then comes radial symmetry, any plane can divide, okay. Any plane passing through the center of the axis can divide the organism into two equal halves. Then coming to bilateral symmetry, only one plane, okay, one plane passing through the center of the axis can divide the organism into two halves, that is the left and the right half. Then coming to diploblastic organization. Diploblastic where there are only two germ layers, that is endoderm and ectoderm. Endoderm and ectoderm is present in diploblastic. And the middle layer, it is a gelatinous in composition, which is called as mesoglia. Then coming to triploblastic, there are three layers: endoderm, okay, mesoderm and then ectoderm. This is about triploblastic. Then coming to coelom. Coelom is a cavity which is closed, a closed cavity, okay, between the wall and the gut wall, between the body wall and the gut wall, a closed cavity is called as coelom. Some animals which have coelom are called as coelomates, which don't have coelom are called as acoelomates, and which have patchy coelom, okay, over here and there, like here you can see in figure B over here. This is called as, okay, this is called as pseudocoelomates. Then coming to the next part, segmentation. Like in arthropoda we have in annelida we have animals which are segmented, okay. Each segment, this process, like this thing is called as metamerism, and each part or each segment is called as metamer. Then coming to the notochord, on the basis of presence of notochord and the absence of notochord, the animal kingdom is divided into chordates and non-chordates, okay. And this notochord is mesodermal in origin. It's a rod-like structure. Then classification of animal kingdom. See, the main classification of animal kingdom, first coming to the organelle, as had explained, all the cellular levels, symmetry, body cavity and all. According to that, we have divided the animal kingdom into 9 phylums, that is Porifera, Coelenterata, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and then come the Chordata. So there are 11 phylums. Then for the first phylum it is Porifera. Porifera are the organisms which come under Porifera are pore bearing animals, okay. Here mostly they are asymmetrical, okay. And the very most important point to be noted over here is they have canal system. In canal system there are most importantly 3 parts, that is the ostia, okay, spongiocele, and then the osculum. Then we have these are hermaphrodites, okay. We have a skeleton, okay, those are spicules, and then spongin fibers. This reproduced by fragmentation. This is about Porifera. This is very short. If you want details you can go to part 2 of animal kingdom. Examples, Cycon, this is the best example, Cycon and Spongilla. Okay, so starting about the nidarians, that is the coelentrates. These are marine, these are sessile, these are free living organisms, okay. And some are swimming, free living, and some are sessile also. Then they have nidoblast cells, okay. Nidoblast cells or nidocytes, okay. These nidoblasts or nidocytes act as anchorage. These are used for defense and also for capture of prey. These have tissue level of organization. These are diploblastic, okay. They have central gastrovascular cavity. Digestion is both intracellular and extracellular. Mouth is a hypostome. Then skeleton is made up of calcium carbonate. Metagenesis, okay. Metagenesis, here there are 2 forms, that is the polyp and the medusa. Polyp is sessile, okay, that means there is no mobility. Then they are cylindrical in shape. Medusa is movable, that is they are motile, and they are umbrella like. Then polyp reproduce medusa asexually, and medusa reproduce polyp sexually. Next, coming to the third phylum, these are also called as sea walnuts or comb jellies. These are marine in nature. These are radially symmetrical. They are diploblastic. Tissue level of organization is present. These have 8 comb plates for locomotion. Digestion is intracellular and extracellular both. The special property of this ctenophora is they have bioluminescence, that means they can emit their own light. Then sexes are not separate, that means they are bisexual. Only sexual reproduction occurs, okay. These are extensively marine, and these only reproduce by sexual reproduction, that is external fertilization and also indirect development is present, okay. Here the best example is Ctenoplana. Then coming to the next phylum, that is phylum Platyhelminthes. These are generally called as flatworms. These are endoparasites, okay, with hooks and suckers. Then these are bilateral symmetry. These are triploblastic. These are acoelomates. Organ level of organization is present. Up till now we have cell level and tissue level of organization. Here we have organ level of organization. Then the excretion and osmoregulation takes place through flame cells. Sexes are not separate. That means they are bisexual. Internal fertilization takes place and indirect development is seen over here. Example, tapeworm, okay, and then we have liver fluke also, Taenia solium and Fasciola hepatica, and here planaria has high regeneration capacity. Then coming to the next phylum, that is phylum Aschelminthes. Okay, these are also called as round worms because they have circular body cavity. If we take a cross section of these animals, we get a circular cross section. Then these are free living, these are aquatic, maybe terrestrial, maybe parasitic also. Organ system level of organization is present over here as seen in Platyhelminthes. Then these are bilaterally symmetrical, these are triploblastic, and these are pseudocoelomates. This is the only phylum where we find pseudocoelomate animals. Then complete digestive system is present, that means a mouth and a anus is present. Then these are dioecious, that means okay, you know it. These are unisexual. Then female is longer than the male. Here the female body is much more longer than the male one. Female is longer than the male. Internal fertilization takes place and direct or indirect development can be seen over here. Best example is Ascaris, okay, and also Wuchereria. Then coming to the next phylum, that is Annelida. So Annelida, these are aquatic or terrestrial animals, free living or parasitic. Okay, organ system level of organization as in Platyhelminthes and Aschelminthes. Bilateral symmetry, these are triploblastic, these are coelomates. As I had said, pseudocoelomates is only present in Aschelminthes. Here we find coelomate animals. From here, from Annelida to Mammalia, all are coelomates. Then metamerically segmented, these show metamerism. That means the body is divided into many little ring like structures. Okay, this is metamerism. Then longitudinal and circular muscles are present for locomotion. Then Nereis has appendages, okay, parapodia for swimming. Then closed type of circulation is present over here. That means there are like arteries, veins and all. Then nephridia is for osmoregulation and excretion. Then comes, there are paired ganglia over here. Then Nereis is dioecious, okay, that means there are separate male and female body. But earthworm and leech are monoecious, that means both the reproductive structure, that means the male and the female reproductive structure is present in the same individual. Then example, earthworm, best example is earthworm. Okay, next coming to the next phylum, that is Arthropoda. These are like the common insects. Okay, the insects which we see in our locality comes under this phylum. Arthropoda like literally means jointed legs. Okay, jointed appendages. Then 2/3 of the named species. Okay, that means this is the first largest kingdom. This is the not kingdom, phylum. This is the largest phylum of Animalia. 2/3 of the named species come under Arthropoda. Organ system level of organization is present. Bilateral symmetry, triploblastic, coelomates and segmented bodies present over here. Here also segmentation is there. Chitinous exoskeleton is present, very much to be remembered. The body is divided into head, thorax and abdomen. Okay, then these have gills, book lungs and tracheal system for respiration. Then open circulatory system is present. Okay, they have eyes. Okay, they have eyes which may be both compound or simple, and they have antenna also. They have balancing organs. Excretion is through Malpighian tubules. They are mostly dioecious, that means both the female and male body is present separately. Then fertilization is usually internal. They are mostly oviparous, that means egg laying animals. Development is direct or indirect. Example, honeybee. Okay, then butterfly is there, then locust is there, The most important examples to be remember over is locust and limulus, that is locusta and limulus, that is locust and king crab. Okay, king crab is called as living fossil, that is limulus is called as living fossil, and locust or locusta is called as gregarious pest. Very much likely to be asked in NEET. Then coming to the next phylum, that is mollusca. This is the second largest phylum. Okay, this may be terrestrial or aquatic. Organ system level of organization is present. They are bilaterally symmetrical. They are triploblastic. They are coelomate animals. Okay, these have calcareous cells. Okay, and the body is unsegmented, but these are having a distinct head, muscular foot, and also a visceral hump. And then visceral hump, head has tentacles, then mouth has file like structures. Okay, file like structures called as radula. Okay, and then there is a mantle cavity between the mantle and the hump. These are dioecious, these are oviparous, and indirect development is seen. Best example over here is the devilfish, that is the octopus. Then coming to the next phylum, that is Echinodermata. Endoskeleton of calcareous ossicles. Then organ system level of organization. Adult is radially symmetrical, that means number of planes, any plane that passes through the center of the axis cuts the animal into two identical halves. Then the larvae is bilateral symmetrical. Then they are triploblastic, they are coelomates, digestive system is complete. Then ventral mouth is present and dorsally anus is present. Water vascular system, okay, which is very important point in echinodermates. Water vascular system is present, which helps in locomotion, capture and transport of food, and also for respiration. Then excretory system is absent. Okay, these are dioecious. External fertilization takes place. Indirect development is seen over here, and the best example over here is starfish. Then coming to the hemichordata. Okay, these are mostly marine, and these are worm like animals. Organ system level of organization is present. These are bilateral symmetry, triploblastic, coelomates. Okay, the body is cylindrical and is composed of anterior probes, a collar, and a long trunk. And then open type of circulatory system is present. Respiration is by gills, excretion is by proboscis gland, and then sexes are separate. Fertilization is external and development is indirect, that means larval stage is present. Okay, example is Belenoglossus. Then coming to the phylum Chordata. Here the most important point is these animals have, the animals belonging to chordata have a notochord, a dorsal hollow nerve cord, and then a pharyngeal, paired pharyngeal gill slits, and a post-anal tail. These are the four main important points which you should remember at any cost. These are bilateral symmetry, these are triploblastic, these are coelomates, these have organ system level of organization, and also possess a post-anal tail, and of a closed circulatory system is also present over here. Then coming to the division of vertebrata. Vertebrata is divided into protochordata and vertebrata. Protochordata consists of urochordata and cephalochordata, or directly you can say chordata is divided into three divisions, that is, or subphylums, that is urochordata, cephalochordata, and vertebrata. So urochordata and cephalochordata combinedly are called as protochordata. Then these protochordata are exclusively marine. In urochordata, the notochord is present only in the larval tail. In the larval tail, not completely in larva, in only larval tail. But in cephalochordata, it extends from the head to the tail and persists throughout the life. Okay. Then coming to the subphylum of vertebrata, these have vertebral column, which bony vertebral column. Okay, and notochord is present in the embryonic stages only. These have paired appendages like maybe fins or maybe limbs. Then coming to the division of vertebrata, vertebrata is divided into two divisions, that is Ergnatha and Gnathostomata. Ergnatha has only one class, that is Cyclostomata, and Gnathostomata has two superclasses, that is Pisces and Tetrapoda. Pisces has Chondrichthyes and Ostrictis has two classes, and then Tetrapoda has four classes, that is Amphibia, Reptilia, Apes and Mammals. So, cyclostomata, these are ectoparasites. Elongated body is present, 5 to 6 pairs of gill cells is present. These are jawless animals. Okay, circular mouth is present, no scales and paired fins are present. Cranium and vertebral column is present, but these are cartilaginous, they are not bony. And closed circulatory system is present. Marine, but for reproduction, okay, they come to fresh water and they die. Example is petromyzon. Okay, then coming to the class Chondrichthyes, that means of the superclass Pisces, we are coming to Chondrichthyes. So the animals of Chondrichthyes are marine, these are having streamlined body, these have cartilaginous endoskeleton. The animals belonging to Chondrichthyes are having cartilaginous endoskeleton, so these are called as cartilaginous fishes also. Then ventral mouth is present. Okay, notochord is persistent throughout the life. Gill slits are separate and without operculum, that is the gill cover, and then skin is tough and contains a minute placoid scale. Teeth are modified placoid scales and they are directed backwardly. Okay, and then the jaws are very powerful. These animals are predaceous, that means they are predators in nature. Then they don't have air bladder, so they need to swim continuously. Then heart is two chamber, that means one ventricle and then one auricle. The some animals have electric organs, some have poisonous stings, and these are cold blooded animals, that means they can't regulate their body temperature. Sexes are separate, they have internal fertilization, and many of them are viviparous. Okay, so these are not egg laying animals. Example is dogfish, sawfish and all. So then coming to the next class, that is Osteichthyes. These are bony fishes. This include both marine and freshwater fishes. These have bony endoskeleton body. Streamlined mouth is mostly terminal. They have four pairs of gills with operculum, that means gill cover is present over here. They have air bladder. Okay, then the heart is two chambered, one ventricle and then one auricle. These are also cold blooded animals, that means they can't regulate their body temperature. Sexes are separate. These are fertilization takes place externally, and these are oviparous, that means they are egg laying, and direct development is seen over here. Example Katla, Rohu and all. Then coming to superclass Tetrapoda. Amphibia, these are animals which stay both in water and on land, so dual life is present. These are seen in aquatic region and also on the terrestrial habitat. Then they have two pairs of limb. The body is divided into head and trunk. Tail may be present or may not be present. The skin of amphibia is moist. Okay, eyes have eyelids, and there is presence of tympanum, which represents the ear. Alimentary canal and urinary and reproductive tract open into a common chamber called as cloaca. Okay, then which opens into exterior. Then respiration is by gills, lungs, or maybe through body surface, that is the skin. Heart is three chambered, two auricles and one ventricle. These are again cold blooded animals, that means they can't regulate their body temperature. Sexes are separate, fertilization is external, they may be oviparous and are indirect development. Here the best example is frog. Next, coming to the next class, that is class Reptilia. These are creeping and crawling animals. Okay, these are mostly terrestrial animals. Okay, and body is covered by dry and cornified skin. Then epidermal scales and cuticles are present. They don't have external ear opening. Tympanum is present. Limbs, when present, are two pairs. Heart is three chambered. Then, but only crocodile has four chambered heart. This is an exception. You need to remember this. Reptile are phyclotherms. Then snakes and lizards shed their skin. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. They are oviparous and direct development is seen. Best example is lizard, okay, and crocodile. Then aves, birds, that means these are animals which has feather and beak, okay. The forelimbs are modified into wings and the hind limbs are used for, okay, walking, crawling, so not crawling, swimming, and also clasping the tree branches. Then skin is dried without any glands, but there is only one oil gland at the base of the tail. Endoskeleton is fully ossified, that means bony structure is present. Then the long bones are having hollow cavity, that is the ear cavity, that is pneumatic bones. Digestive tract of birds has additional chamber called as the crop and the gizzard. Heart is four chambered, okay. They are warm blooded animals, that is the homeothermous, that means they can regulate their own body temperature. Then respiration is through gills. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. They are oviparous and direct development is seen. Mammalians I have discussed in this class only. These are seen in all kind of terrestrial environment. Even they are seen in air and also in the water. Okay, these have mammary glands. Then these have two pairs of limb adapted for walking, running, climbing, burrowing, swimming, or even for flying. Skin has epidermal hair. Then there is presence of pinna, okay, the external ear. Then different types of teeth are present in the jaw. Heart is four chambered. They are homeothermic, that means they can regulate their own body temperature. Respiration is by gills. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal, and they are viviparous with few exceptions, and development is direct. Oviparous example is platypus, and all the other mammalians including humans are viviparous. Next, as I had said you, I will explain about this table at the last. This table is very important if you want to revise whole chapter in a glance. This is very important. See, over here let us take the first phylum as our example. Phylum Porifera. Level of organization is cellular level, okay. Symmetry various, that means they are asymmetrical, okay. Then coelom, they are coelomates. Segmentation is not there. Digestive system is not there. Circulatory system is also not there. Respiratory system is also not there. The distinct feature is they have pores in their body, and water canal system is also present. So like that you can read about all phylums over here. See, they have given about poriferans, cnidarians, ctenophora, platyhelminthes, aschelminthes, annelida, arthropoda, mollusca, echinodermata, hemichordata, and chordata also, okay. So see, the most important thing among these are also the distinct features, okay. Poriferans have pores and also the canal system. Then cnidarians have nidoblast cells. The comb plates for ctenophora. Flat body and sucker is present in platyhelminthes, okay. Round worm, and they are elongated for aschelminthes. Body segmented like little rings, that is annelida. Exoskeleton of cuticle jointed appendages, that is arthropoda. Then mollusca. Then echinodermata, hemichordata, and chordata. So this is the end of the chapter, that is animal kingdom. If you liked my explanation, please hit the like button, subscribe, okay. And if you have any doubts, please feel free to comment. If you really like my explanation, please subscribe the channel. Thank you.